Howdy y'all, Stock Warden here back with another video. In today's video we're looking at Xylem Incorporated, which is a stock that came recommended for me to check out by one of my long-term subscribers. So thank you so much for bringing this stock to my attention. And honestly, this stock is going to definitely go straight into the rocket stock category, because as I have been researching over this company, they are looking at doing huge things with big leaps and bounds. So even though the price target is a little high, and also where the stock price is currently is high as well, so it's a little bit more of a established stock than what I've typically been covering on this channel. But nonetheless, this is an amazing company, and I'm going to let you know all about it in this video. So a little bit about Xylem itself. So together with all of its subsidiaries, they engage in the design, manufacture, and servicing of engineered products and solutions for utilities, industrial, and residential plus commercial building services. So, and they mainly operate through water infrastructure. So, and then they also run with applied water, measurement, and control solutions, along with water solutions and services segments. So the company offers the water, wastewater, and stormwater pumps and control systems, along with filtration, disinfection, and biological treatment equipment under the FLYGT. So them, and also a long list of companies as well, not only FLYGT, but Sanitaire, Wallace, and Neptune Benson, just to name a few. So, but they also deal with pumps, valves, heat exchangers, controls, and also dispensing equipment that is used for different water applications. So keeping everything steady under an industrial market for the Rule, Bell, and Gossett. So they also provide smart meters, network communication devices, data analytics, test instruments, controls, sensor devices. They also do their own software and manage services on their own, with, of course, with them having their own sensors and software, they also have their own cloud-based analytics with remote monitoring and data management under the Edbro, Census, Syntec, and a few other brands as well. So in addition, the company offers preventative maintenance services, rapid response mobile services, digitally enabled and outsourced solutions with process and wastewater treatment systems, environmental remediation, odor and corrosion control, along with filtration, reverse osmosis, continuous deionization, with mobile dewatering equipment and rental services to boot. So with all of that, plus having municipal services comprising odor and corrosion control services, condition assessment, and asset management and pressure monitoring solutions, they, with another set of companies as well for Grindex, Marcor, and Godwin brands. So Xylem Incorporation was formerly known as ITTWCO Incorporated, and it changed its name to Xylem Incorporation back in July of 2011, where the company was incorporated in 2011. So its headquarters is in Washington in the District of Columbia. So they are in the industrial sector under the machinery industry. They currently have a market cap of over $28 billion and a revenue in the past trailing 12 months of over $9 billion. So this is a huge company, and not only are they huge, but they are also in a very strong and strategic sector as well, because when you talk about water, water means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, depending on what part of the country and or what part of the world that you live in. Because some places, clean drinking water is a very hot commodity, and other places, treating water is a very hot commodity. And especially in industrial settings, that can be a whole nother can of worms as well, to be able to run heat exchangers for steam and different properties that come along with that. So with them having all of their different subsidiaries that specifically do the best of what section that they're a part of, then this is one giant umbrella that Xylem is, that encompasses a huge amount of different companies that completely turn over and somewhat make a turnkey result for anything that has to deal with water. So as it stands right now, some of the quick releases that they've had. So obviously you can tell that their shares have been on a steady uptrend since the end of May and the beginning of June. They have since went from roughly $105 a share all the way back up to $120 a share. Jeffries, which is coming from Bazinga, they have upgraded Xylem to a buy rating and has raised their price target up to $140 a share. So that in itself is also amazing as well, to see a stock not only as it's growing, but to also have a price target that is higher than what they have seen currently in this year of 2026. So, because if you go back into January, right in between January and February, they had a decent fall from the 140 down into the 130s and have continued kind of on a downward trend since then. But that downward trend has a lot to do with the Iranian war and a lot of things that have been clinching their side of the market, where they haven't really been able to do a whole lot of growth in some of that short time. And they've also had quite a few large sells at the same time as well, going from that 140 down into the 120s. So then you can turn around and know that not only are they doing all of these things to create more growth, they do have their second quarter of 2026 financial results to come out on July 28th of this year. So just within a couple of weeks, that'll come out. And we'll talk a little bit more about their finances here in just a minute. But I do want to touch base on something that hits close to home for me, because I personally live in the state of Texas, and they are hitting home with one of their new huge projects where they are looking to partner with Houston to develop and deploy a flood intelligence platform. So that is something to me that seems absolutely huge, because they're partnering to deploy Xylem's flood intelligence platform, which is going to use data from physical sensors that they're going to install all across the city to alert officials about waterlogged roads, underpasses, and streets during extreme weather events, because we are definitely known for hurricanes. There's no shortage of hurricanes and tropical storms each year. So the water tracking initiative comes as the city continues to deal with the long-term aftermath of Hurricane Harvey that happened in 2017 and prepares for extreme weather while also hosting the World Cup events. So because right now we are in the middle of hurricane season, and it's not going to get any easier or any simpler for the weather conditions and also for flooding and water drainage within the city of Houston. So, and yes, they are still dealing with the long-term effects that happened in 2017 from Hurricane Harvey. And to put that in perspective, it has been almost 10 years. We're looking at 9 years next month, and people are still feeling the impact of how great that natural disaster was. So they are definitely looking at moving forward and putting a major city on where they're going to be able to do even more for a commercial standpoint, but also to help all residents in the area as well. So that speaks to me absolutely huge. So, but then now we'll kind of get into some of the finances about it. So their volume is at 2 million. Their average volume is at 1.97, and their market cap, like I had said earlier, is over $28 billion, over $28.5 billion. So, in their earnings reports going back to the second quarter of 2025, they have not only met but exceeded their expectations on their earning estimates. So that is also showing a huge plus side and sign of this company as well, that over the past 4 quarters they have continued to meet and exceed those expectations. So this company does also pay out dividends. So they have paid out dividends. It looks to me like they pay them out somewhat of a quarterly basis, because they paid out in May of 28 and then June of 25. So actually that would be on a monthly basis, excuse me. So that is something that I have yet to see in a stock just above $100 a share. It's not often I've seen that. So this is also a new game changer for me as well. So especially with a dividend yield that's over 1% as well. So with the income, you can see how their percentages have definitely increased over the course of 21 through 25. So between 24 and 25, they've had roughly about the same as far as the graph shows, but their margin still did continue to increase, and also their revenue and net income did increase as well. So they're still showing a solid line and track of growth from year to year stances. As it stands right now, of course, the performance in the short term has been looking up, but over the course of the past year and year to date, they are down on average about 10% over the year to date, and the 6-month moving averages. So, and then you can kind of come into the seasonal as well and see where the stock is trending as it's been moving up and down. It kind of seems as if this stock kind of starts to stagnate during the summer months, kind of holding true until you end up into August, moving on up on top until you get into November with a slight taper down into the end of the year. So along with a couple of technicals and analysts, everything is leaning more to a buy, like I had originally talked about earlier, with a price target of 140 over the current price at 120. So that is also a amazing forecast as well, to be able to see that. So, and also all of the term structures and volatilities are also looking quite attractive as well. So with everything that I have covered on this stock, this to me is a very solid choice for a new portfolio grab to be able to bring some more shares into my current portfolio as well. So I hope y'all were able to catch a little bit of everything on Xylem, on what they are, what they're about, and where they're heading, along with a lot of the new steps that they're bringing into the future, not just with the Houston area, but they also are expanding long-term water partnerships with multiple different companies as well, Dow being one of them, which is another massive company. So, but as it stands right now, this is how far I'm going to bring into this stock. I hope y'all enjoyed it and was able to learn more about it. So if you did like it, drop a comment below, and also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I can continue making more content and more videos for y'all to view and bring more stocks into the channel as well. So this is the Stock Warden riding off. So y'all come back now, you hear?